Okay, breathe. It's not your battle directly.
Yeah.
Then if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think you
That
need...
doesn't tell me what you...
Dude! Oh my God. Help me, Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Tate went to talk to Piers Morgan. Unique interview. Let's see.
Andrew Tate's the most famous man you've probably never heard of, but the chances are your children will have. Videos of Tate have been viewed billions of times online. He's got an enormous following of mostly young men, and his often scandalous views about women that have made him notorious across the world. Views like this.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle to marry the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Tate's opinions on mental illness.
I mean, it is true. It's a type of a blessing. We don't live by the rules though, but we still want to feel by the rules. Okay.
Are equally controversial.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Well, there's some every major social media platform.
And actually, I think that is the truth. Because all the friends that I know that lose their parents at a very young age, they go to therapy, all that stuff, they keep them there. That is what I've seen. I lost my mom when I was 6. Everybody told me, your mom is dead. She's watching you from heaven. Why do you talk about your mom? Because I didn't spend so much time thinking about the thing that I'm missing, I just cherished the 6 years and tried to enjoy life because I wanted to stay alive, and amen. It worked way better for me than other people. But then again, if I'd say it now, to help a person, I'm hurting feelings. Misogyny, whatever they want to say.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking it?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
for
say.
the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can.
Hyperbolically, I do understand what he means. The problem is, most people don't understand what he means. This is one of the mistakes that even Andrew Tate called out. He was very hyperbolic, he didn't explain himself, but as a man, I get what he means. It means the more a lady date, the more issues she might have. She might have an epiphany and become a different person, but some of them are so disingenuous, egoistic, trying to do their own journey. Pam, 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 hey, freedom and bada bing boom. I get it. You do you. But you cannot deny to me that you don't have emotional baggage of all the things that you've been through. Do you know how many girls keep telling me, you have no idea what I've been through? I'm like, yeah, you slept with a lot of people. I tried to suggest you differently. You didn't listen. Well, I don't want to date you anymore. Because from our knowledge, ladies that don't date as much usually are more agreeable. You know, they're not that defensive. Sometimes not that angry.
A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds and having effectively been having too much sex to be...
By that knowledge, I can also say that about women having the idea I only want to date old men that might have 6 figures or whatever. We're not labeling them as gold diggers because that's bad, right? Because they can choose whatever they want. While all the men that have nothing cannot even impress a woman with nothing and they start groveling for attention. You know, it's interesting that we always talk what men do wrong and we never talk about ladies that push this forward. Because the way that he's interviewing him, he doesn't even let him to talk. It's more like, Bring Tate. We got the attention. Pram, 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 pram. Hit him, hit him, hit him. This is good for the show. Everybody's gonna watch me. Way more women. So I need to keep the woman on this show. So I'm gonna hit him as hard as I can.
In a more respectful way.
That would, well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then, isn't it?
No, no, no. It's,
No. No, anti-25 woman, that is not misogyny. If I like a specific person that gives me less trouble and the other people are not benefiting it, you can't be like, hey man, I'm an ableist in some way. That doesn't make any sense. Because by that knowledge, rich men. Certain women only want rich men. Certain women only like alpha men. Certain women like soy boys. Let them choose whatever they want. It's like, I cannot not like a specific demographic for women. It feels weird. So I know a lot of guys that only want to date young ladies because they did not date a lot, especially in this age. You might have only slept with 2 or 4 men. Back in the day. That's not today. And to be specific, it's more a Western woman thing because I can go outside right now and ask a bunch of ladies. Most of them don't even reach more than 10. But in US, the Western countries, most of them are ashamed because they know it's way higher. I'm not ashamed of my body. Then just say it then. Just say it.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
not when I'm saying that women are beautiful.
Being anti-woman is misogyny. Any woman. So being anti-men, like incels, is that bad too? Not the incels that run after you. The incels that is locked in their room, they don't want to date anymore, and they decide to fly over to a native country over there to find a woman. Look man, this is the mentality that people say in 2030, maybe 50% of the women are gonna be single. Good times.
At a certain age and saying the age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist perhaps, but misogynistic absolutely
Is that
not.
really? But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No,
He then said, Piers Morgan. What the heck happened to this guy?
I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
But if a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments,
Yeah.
would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
The woman can just say very simple. She can just say, I only slept with one person. If she's 40. And they might be like, oh, really? Hey, that's unique. You totally win the argument. You can just say that. But no, it's immediately defense, 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 attack, 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 misogyny, misogyny, misogyny. Patriarchy.
That, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a
They
conversation.
have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not
to have.
allowed to drive cars.
This is something that I also really hate. When they talk about this, when they talk about Andrew Tate with specific people, the first thing they do, what about the people in India? When they get raped and they go to the police don't help them. I'm like, dude, I'm talking about the world that you live in. What's wrong with you? He's doing the same thing. Look at his face. It's like, this guy is an idiot.
That's nothing to do with it.
But is that the kind of world for women that you
I was mediating.
applaud?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
So you're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is it there are parts of the world?
He didn't. Oh, see, straw manning. Straw manning. When somebody says something that you didn't say, and suddenly you're talking about it and defending something that you didn't say.
Oh, well, this is fine.
My
So
friend,
my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where
You don't think it's fine?
the reason
This
I
isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching,
Why do you want people to be in a situation that they always say, I wish I haven't said that? Do you know how many times at the same time when I speak to specific ladies, I'm not saying men, because sure, unique bad men exist out there. But whenever I speak with specific ladies, you know what's the most triggering response I get? It's the way I am. I cannot control my emotion because you said it in a certain way. When I hear that, I'm like, You have no self-control and you have logical moral reason by your standard to justify those. Just like certain women believe they can slap you, but I can't react because that's misogyny. And when I go complain about what the woman did, hey, this is a feminist or a misandry, they're like, no, she reacted misogynistic against you. So you see, uses a male term to justify something negative and not a female version. Amen. Life is unique. I made 2 boys in this world. Oh my, I need to go train them just in case they meet special people.
I'm sorry I said that because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that.
Let him speak. Oh my, it's not a... okay, breathe. It's not your battle directly.
Yeah.
Then if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think you
That
need...
doesn't tell me what you...
Dude! Oh my God. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. Piers is morganing me too much. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, man. He represents exactly what I hate, and I know I can't react improperly because this video is gonna go on YouTube, and I can't react how I want to react. It always has to go through a filter. I feel trapped because people believe if I react improper, people behind me that I don't see are gonna be like, oh, that is how I have to speak. I'm like, when are we gonna make people a little more accountable on both sides? Even by your standard, only one side has a gun.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable...
Is that a truth? Then?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about.
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression had become a much more serious depressive illness, and she very sadly took her life.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Right. Her father,
That's terrible.
Her father's campaign for better protections against potentially dangerous social media.
Why are we even talking about this? I don't even understand it. That's a whole different trouble. That's a whole different trouble. I don't understand why he has a message, something that he tries to improve, and even if he jokes or whatever, you will make that information something so negative in a way that, Andrew Tate, how do you feel that you might have been responsible for the death of this girl? I'm like, what? This was happening way before in UK. You guys have an epidemic of bullying. Handle that. It's not Andrew Tate's fault by burning Andrew Tate on the stake like the witches, like you did back in the day. That doesn't mean that you are doing something good. You just feel morally good before the city. I mean, sometimes he speaks very reasonable. When he spoke to Jordan Peterson, I thought, hey man, that's nice, cool, beautiful. And now he's like this. I'm like, dude, it's like you're a puppet. Like Sneaker would say, you're a bat.
That's right. It says that the particularly graphic content she saw romanticized acts.
Look at how he's looking at him like, this guy is an idiot. My God. Oh, I feel so bad for Andrew Tate at this moment.
Self-harm, normalized her condition, and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. First of all, what is your response to that? Nothing to do with you. Asking what your response
that's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me.
Oh, okay. Well, this is reasonable for that.
The fact that a 14-year-old girl took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is... The fact that something like that happened is almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now that you've said before.
But I'd say them differently, perhaps.
Yeah, right. So to me, that's an acceptance. Not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognized and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind by some of the things you've said.
I wonder how far people would go to not affect the impressionable mind of little girls. Like Nicki Minaj and all these people, Cardi B, talking about the WAP and everything. I don't cook, I don't clean. Nobody says anything about that. Dancing with the boobies, bada bing, bada boom, in front of kids. Nobody says anything about it. Even on YouTube, there's like a weird video. Nobody says anything. But if it was a man, you're gone. I'm not saying that we shouldn't counter it, but there's a double standard that people see somebody do something, and I believe if you can go so much to the left, I can go so much to the right. But they're like, no, anything to the right is wrong, unless you right it to the left.
Would that be fair?
I think that's 80% fair. I recognize and understand that with massive fame, you have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience.
Yeah.
With power comes responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers. However, that can be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children.
Yeah.
Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject in and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content on the internet can be negative or detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand the world.
So, okay, man, we reached the end. I think I said what I had to say. I don't have anything more to add to this whole situation other than I just want the same force for men, for women. Because I don't see they try to make women accountable for their decision, because this doesn't exist because life is good. This exists because you advocate so much for things for women that men are not allowed to do. I live in a world right now that most ladies out-earn men, but they still want a man to earn more than her, and so she can chill. If you earn the money, why are you dating down? When men was earning more money, we weren't dating down. You know, it's weird. There's an imbalance. And I'm like, if you don't handle the balance, in my experience, with my wisdom, with my time, I notice nothing goes in one direction forever. It will go down. This is life. But right now, I believe that in a few years, we're going to have a lot of women in a very unique position. And no man trying to protect them. Look at New York. They're beating a woman. No man is standing up to defend. Like, what? We're not going to do anything. You want to get rid of misogyny? Well, you need misogyny to fight. Especially those that you send to war. But you don't have a lot of those either. But anyway, gonna make it the end. Like, share, hit the subscribe button and all those things. And hey, see you guys next time. Peace.